AI song before the start of the show. In about a minute we'll be ready to go. You just have to sit through this countdown. You were told the stream would start at 9, and you were sure to be here on time. But now you have to sit through another countdown. It's a good thing that you're used to it, because they're so ubiquitous, and at least it's not 10 minutes long. Now it's getting near, the time is almost here. Our guest on the show is Edwin Acevedo. Let's go, the time is almost here. Our guest on the show is Edwin Acevedo. Let's go.
Rob.
Okay. Did you hear any music during the countdown?
Yep, I heard it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
I did not. Which the AI song, the intro.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I didn't hear anything, and I was like, that sucks. But if everyone else heard it, I'm good with that. I found this stupid AI music thing where you can write in your lyrics and give it a genre, and it'll put music to it. And I'm like, I'll do that. That's silly. And also the fact that it cannot say ubiquitous and your last name Acevedo correctly, I think is funny. But that's another thing. Anyways, welcome to content, everyone. It's Saturday night. Oh my God, my mind's just all gone. But we are here. We're going to be talking with our guest tonight, Edwin Acevedo, who is the mind behind Aces Drawing Group, and he's got a new campaign. But we're gonna touch on that a little bit. But mostly we're going to be talking about a movie that was suggested that I had not seen, and I watched for the first time, The 13th Warrior. But how you doing, Edwin? Thank you for
thanks for having me on. Yeah, so
yeah, no worries. Just one of the things that trying to do is get people to notice these books in the indie scene. Get people's eyes on them, but trying to do it in a way that's not just like, hey, come on and just pitch for an hour. I want to try to get people to be interested in watching what's going on in the first place, right? And then be drawn in. So hopefully talking about movies or music in some cases, or even comics will do that. So that's what we're trying to do tonight. Like I said, 13th Warrior, based on the Michael Crichton book Eaters of the Dead. I had not seen. Let me check my notes. Came out in the year 1999, and I do remember it was a bomb. It bombed at the box office.
Yeah.
Do you remember any of that talk? Like why it bombed? What was the reasoning behind it?
Sometimes movies just get released at the wrong time. I mean, to me, the trailers made it seem more like a horror movie instead of like the action adventure kind of epic that it was. So maybe that marketing went away. There's also a lot of big movies in '99, so it's easy to get swept under. I mean, personally, like I didn't discover till years later, probably like early 2000s. Something I knew the name. I'd seen the trailer and stuff, and I'm a Banderas fan, so sounded interesting, but it's one of those movies that just kind of came and went, got swallowed up by other. So it wasn't until years later, I was at my buddy's house and he had the DVD, and I was looking, we're just looking for stuff to like borrow and stuff. We were always like borrowing each other's movies and stuff. And I was like, oh, 13th Warrior, like I heard about this. And my friend's like, oh, you got to watch this. And I trust his opinion, 9 times out of 10 he's spot on. So I was like, all right, I'll check it out. Went home, watched it. Came back like a couple of days later. I was like, "This is the greatest movie ever, man!" Like we would watch it all the time. We would just turn it on. Like when we didn't have anything to watch or anything, like you just throw it on in the background. And then we end up watching the whole movie because it has so many quotables and just it's right up my alley. So yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. It cost around 160 million to make. It made 60 million, and it opened against The Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
So that might
Yeah.
that might help explain a little bit as to why it didn't do as well as it could have. But directed just beautifully by John Tiernan, who directed Die Hard and Predator and Last Action Hero, like all these greats, right?
Yeah.
I had to look it up. I when I was watching, I'm like, man, who did this movie? Because there's some really, really fantastic shots in it. But yeah, I had always wanted to see it, but knowing that it was a bomb at the box office, I was always hesitant. Like,
Yeah.
it can't be good, right? Like, it can't be good. But no, it was very enjoyable. But let's just jump right into it and go through the movie and right from the get-go, I was a little worried. I'll be honest. Like right from the get-go, the very first shot is them on the boat. Two very prominent, not great CG scenes happen right at the beginning, and it got me nervous. Let me see. I got the this was one of them. The picture of the city he came from.
Yeah.
And I was like, boy, this looks rough. This looks really rough. So that did kind of make me wonder right off the bat. But
yeah,
the basic story is the obvious, most stereotypical Arab ever, Antonio Banderas, is a poet, and he's living in this idealistic, beautiful city, and kind of goes afoul of a higher up in town by they don't really get into it, but messing with the guy's wife. It doesn't say he did anything with her. He might have just looked at her, for all we know.
Yeah.
But he
well, it takes for some people.
Yeah. But he ends up, because of that, being punished by being assigned as a
ambassador.
Yeah, ambassador to the Northmen, and no, that's not where he's headed originally, is he? He gets kind of
he's just kind of sent. He's just kind of sent on the wild to find people to connect with, and then he ends up running across these forgot what the name for them is, but they're basically like bandits,
Tartars,
and then Tartars, and then the Vikings show up and they scare off the Raiders, and then the story begins.
Yeah, and it's kind of throws you right. There's one of the complaints I saw when I was looking at some of the reviews and stuff back in the day was how light it was on plot, which I disagree with. But it does jump right into, they don't introduce you to any, Antonio Banderas. They don't give you no lead up. It's just like, here's a guy, he's out here, and now he's met these guys. Here's the story.
Yeah, there's not a lot of you could tell a lot of stuff was left on the cutting room floor. There's rumors of all another hour plus that they could easily add to this. So they'll probably never get that, sadly, but there's a lot of stuff. Even in the movie itself, there's subplots that are cut off and never addressed and stuff. So I can definitely see some of the criticism, but I think the strengths far outweigh any weaknesses in the overall movie. I think the performances are absolutely spectacular, and it's such an easy watch. It literally, you can just once you get into it, and then you get on that boat and you're off with them, the adventure begins, man. It's just so well done.
And it has little things that do kind of touch on the cultural differences, the passing of the washing bowl or whatever it is. Which my wife loves the show Vikings, and they do that same thing at one point in that show, and it's just I don't care what your tradition. I'm not. Yeah, you can kill me. I'm not drinking your snot water or whatever.
Yeah.
But then, so yeah, they meet, they hang out for a little while, and then a young boy messenger shows up in the village.
So first off, they have to decide who the new king is because they're walking into a
Oh,
funeral.
that's right.
So they say goodbye to the old king, and then you have the two sons who are remaining, and then they have it out, and one son wins,
See,
and then comes
that's interesting because they didn't really touch on the fact that the guy who tried to assassinate him was his brother. They,
if I remember that correctly, like I didn't get a chance to rewatch.
it was almost a oh, you froze up, but
there was his brother or something of the top two.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I knew there was like, okay, so that makes a little more sense, I guess, because the guy sitting next to him all of a sudden pulls a knife, tries to kill him, gets himself killed.
That's taken out quickly, yeah.
Yeah, and so then that makes him so that makes a whole lot more sense. Okay, there you go. I kind of thought that the whole process of the journey was kind of his journey into becoming the king, but that's when he became the king right then. Okay,
yeah. I mean, technically, but like one of the points he makes, not to spoil the movie at the end, when he says,
oh, well, I'm gonna spoil it.
I have nothing, I'll die a pauper or whatever he says.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically that transformation of like him becoming like royalty in like through this journey instead of just like named king, kind of like yeah. So it's like I said, it's a lot of layers, a lot of different little things they sprinkle out, but nothing you're never hit over the head with it, which I like. I mean, one of the great things is like when they're doing the funeral is the when they have to burn the woman, and then I forget what like his name is. I think technically it's like Herger. Me and my friends usually just call him Big Brother because he's always calling Antonio Banderas' little brother. And I don't think they actually ever say the name in the movie. So yeah, but he says that's the old ways. Like that's the last time this will happen. Like it's such a little small piece of commentary, I think, but it actually it shows like they're not just savages. They're not just murdering this woman. Like
Yeah,
so and just little touches like that throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, and the Antonio Banderas' character, not there's a look on his face of like this isn't great. Like he doesn't but he's not trying to stop it. He's not interrupting it.
I mean, it's not his role. He knows he's just a visitor. Like he has no say here.
Yeah, and there's no scene of him being like, "Why did you do that?" They don't explain it. They're just like, "This is what's going on." That's one of the things I wrote down was the movie very much makes you feel like you're in his shoes for a good chunk of the beginning, where just as much. There's no subtitles. No. There, you're just
you learn everything when he does, which is another great touch.
But
yeah, it's just so good. Like I said, man, this is like one of my favorites. Like when you said 75, I was like, I know the perfect one to send them, like right at the top of the list.
They as I said earlier, there's a young boy from a village up north in their country who shows up, and he talks about the village has been under attack and they need help, and it's from an evil that cannot be named. And I know that there is touches of Beowulf, that he Michael Crichton used as his inspiration. So I again had listened to the audiobook years and years ago, but I forgot that how much was Beowulf and how much wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I started to get like, oh man, they're going to get into the Beowulf story. Like, I want to see what the effects are going to be for the creatures. we'll get into that a little bit later about how the creatures show up and stuff. But it got me interested for a different reason. But I ended up just as pleased by the end. But so they take off. Then they draw the scene where they volunteer. Was very moving. Like it very quickly introduced you to the fact that these guys were warriors. Happily volunteering to go and fight for these people's safety. And Antonio Banderas is going to get chosen. It's the point of the movie, but it was still done so well.
Yeah, it's great. At the end, you got all these guys, and then she says what she says because there's no subtitles, so you're trying to figure out what they're saying, and then he's counting on his interpreter. He's like, the 13th cannot be a Norseman, and you're like, the choices narrow down. That's great. Yeah, it's like a great scene. Yeah,
it was great. So then they gather up, they take off. Let me see. I got a little.
Oh, but first they make fun of his horse. You forget that one.
Yeah. Oh, that was a little bit. They do make fun of his horse. Yeah. They start barking and saying only an Arab would bring a dog to war. And then I just wanted to show this one scene. It's just a small little scene of them taking off. They head off to start their adventure. But let's see.
You listening?
I really liked that shot.
Yeah.
Like that was one of the earliest shots in the movie where I was like, who directed this? Because it was just such a simple, just like a zoom in on the distant mountains, but first they're here and now they're way over there. And simple shot to show, the distance traveled, the progression of time. Like really, they did that really well too. Simple things like then in the next few scenes after they leave, there's camping scenes. Antonio Banderas is sitting and he's watching all the Northmen talk, and he starts to pick up on their language. And the simplest way they show the passage of time is one day it's not raining and then another day it is, and it's like, oh, it's been clearly it's been the time has passed, Yeah. And he slowly picks up their language, and at one point one of them says something to the effect of someone that one of the other guys had sex with probably looked like his mother, and points to him.
Yeah.
And he says, "My mother." And they all stop and they all look at him, and he talks about, "My mother was an honorable woman, and at least I knew my father. Not like you what is a pig
eating son of whore." Yeah. And then like one of my favorite, like the things that me and my friend quote all the time, because it's so like out of context, it's ridiculous, but when you're watching the movie and the guy's like, "How did you learn our language?" He's like, "I listen." So, me and my buddy would just tell each other that all the time. Just, "I listen." Yeah. And then I love his reaction. Like he just laughs, like, and he's like accepts it. He's like, "Yeah, there you go. Okay, this guy."
There's a few of those scenes where something. So I think I got the horse scene a little bit later too. Maybe it's this one, but he
Would bring a dog to war?
The same reaction at the end.
A dog to war? I heard this the first time.
It's another thing I want to talk about. The music. The music is another thing. Like that, you heard that, like the kettle drums. Boom, boom,
Yeah.
I don't know why. I do they make music like that anymore in movies?
No, not at all.
It's so. I mean, it's very cinematic, yes, but in a classical way. But it's over the top from what we hear nowadays.
Yeah.
But it's but it lets you know this is something different. This is something special.
Sound important.
Yeah.
Like there's so many of those little small scenes that kind of bring everything together. You kind of see the clash of like basically different worlds coming together for like this one adventure. Because basically, I mean, in reality, like they could all be meeting their death. So like they're gonna have to trust each other.
Yeah.
So like the movie starts to kind of piece it all together little by little.
And learn to trust in this new.
He's not guy. One of them, so he's got to prove his ways too.
Yeah. So then they, it's kind of a little traveling scene. They cut back to the beginning, which was on the boat, and then they're in the fog, which was a kind of a cool scene of navigating how close they are to land by shooting the arrows.
Yep.
And also, it just looks really good. Like, that's a rad shot.
Yeah, that's it. Right, they're coming out of the smoke and everything.
Yeah. And even like we said earlier, the guy started shooting the fire arrow, and I'm like, what? Why is he doing that? And you hear the splash, and then he shoots a second one, and it says, and it thumps, hits something, and it's like, oh, okay. It's basically he's sounding. He's looking for what's ahead of them, and they find land. They get to where they're going and head to the village. And my worries before about bad CG completely dissipated at this point, because they built this entire village, which I should have gotten a picture of. I should have gotten a picture of that. The grand hall. All the outbuildings, like it was a real place, and it felt.
I love it when they come in and they see like the poor shape that it's in. They're like, this thing can't hold anything.
Yeah,
and you kind of get the first inkling of what they're dealing with. You're like, they have like no protection here. Like no wonder they called for help, because they're like they're in bad shape.
They don't even have a fence.
No, nothing.
What they say? All women and children, not a man between 13 and 60 or something like that.
Yeah.
So they get to the village and talk to the leader. Kind of find out what's going on. Was the name of the bad guys the Ver? It was just a very short word.
Yeah, something similar to that. Yeah.
And I could not, for the life of me, they only said it about 4 or 5 times, and I'm like, I could not. I should have put on subtitles to figure out what the hell they were saying. But they start talking about this group, these creatures, and unsure what these creatures are.
Yeah.
They get as they're sitting there debating on what they're going to do with the situation. A small boy comes running through a field, and they go out and pick up the small boy, and he's kind of torn up, and they head to the village where he came from.
Yeah.
It's not even a village; it's just like a house.
Yeah, a little cottage there.
Yeah. And they see some terror, some terrible death and destruction. I get this little scene here, which the camera movement in this scene really gave a good sense of vertigo of how Antonio Banderas' character felt. And there was quite a few of those camera angles. Like I said, the directing in this was just so good.
Yeah, I love when actually they storm that little cottage thing. They make a whole plan and then they kick it in, and you can kind of see like, all right, these guys know what they're doing. It's like all this
like a
little
SWAT
Yeah,
team.
basically they scope it out. They got all the exits and everything, like so nobody can get out. So yeah, it's very. I love those little touches. Like, and the more you rewatch it, the more you kind of pick up on that little stuff, and it becomes some of my favorite scenes.
Yeah, Antonio Banderas is like makes a move like he's gonna go help, and the guy, the archer's like,
step in my, step in front of my arrows, boy. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, they find death, find destruction. It looks like it looks like creatures. Antonio Banderas says something's been gnawing on them, and it's looking mystical. It's looking like it's Beowulfy,
Yeah.
And
also like that's like the first time they like you see like a seriousness in them.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
like there's no like jokiness around there. They're kind of like they're all like, all right, this is whatever we're dealing with is serious. Like there's this like you see the change in like demeanor when they go when they're all sleeping in the big
which was a great scene.
Yeah, fantastic. Like this.
So they decide they learn from some of the older people in town or whatever that the creatures only come in the fog.
Mm-hmm.
And they decide to set sort of a trap. They say, oh, the fog's coming in tonight. So they set themselves up in it's the grand hall, the biggest.
Yeah, it's like a big hall there. Yeah.
Yeah, and they sleep in a circle, their feet pointing towards each other, and that's one of the lines in there. Antonio Banderas asks, you're gonna go to sleep, and the guy, Big Brother, actually says to him, nothing. A man's gained nothing but from fear, or something to the effect of that.
Yeah, so it tells him like his life has already been set by the gods, so like there's nothing he can do about it, basically. And then that when he asks them, if like they're not drinking tonight, and they're like, no, we're not drinking tonight. Mm-hmm. Again, all those little things that lead up, because like I said, he's learning about them, through this point. So all these little things lead off to stuff later. So and the fact that like they're actually not asleep, they're just faking like they're asleep. Another like beautiful touch, because Banderas zonked out there for a bit. he was in dreamland. He wakes up and they're all like have their eyes open, and you're like, oh, it's like so it's just great little touches through the whole movie.
Mm-hmm. And then the beasts attack. It's a big battle for a small space. Lots of limbs cut off. What seems to be a lot of the creatures killed, and one of their own. I think it's just one at that point gets killed, right?
I think one of them gets like beheaded, and they take the head.
Yeah, that's right.
Crazy. Yeah.
That's right. I actually had that written as a note because it was a little bit shocking that they just like ripped the dude's head off.
Yeah. That's one of those scenes that you're like, oh, this is.
But they the creatures run away, and no bodies. They apparently pick them up and take them with them, so they can't inspect. We still don't know what these creatures are at this point.
Yep, and then the leader checks his sword. He's like, their blood's real.
Yeah,
and they're all talking about like, I took one, I took two. Then one of the guys like, I think even the Arab took one of them. And there's who gets knocked out in the battle, which is another great. He has some great like fight scenes that are just completely atypical from like what you'd expect. He gets his ass kicked and he survives. And he's like, so it's a great stuff on that.
So then there's the I don't know if I got that sword scene. It's very much like the horse scene where he proves them wrong. Let me see what.
Yeah, when he makes the sword into like a blade.
Yeah. And boy, I know I cut that, but it's another scene where I like the end of that one where he spins it around and points it directly at the guy, and the guy says, When you die, can I give that to my daughter?
Yeah, that's great. Like it's just their little banter moments throughout the whole movie are like just priceless.
And then, like you said earlier, where is it this guy? That one. That's one of those subplots that just kind of, it's kind of, so yeah, I actually would love to see like a director's cut of this movie.
Yeah. I heard they trimmed tons of time from this. The movie's only like what, 100 minutes?
I didn't even know. I got so caught up in watching it. I did.
It's not, like I said, I think there's quite a bit, like the whole subplot here.
Yeah.
They kind of deal with it, but it kind of stays lingering, like it's not fully closed.
Yeah. I mean, even just the, that this very scene where he mentions him killing his brothers, like they don't touch on any more of that. It's just enough to let you know that this guy's not trustworthy. He's going to be a problem. But let me see, where is that? Okay. Did I get the? Oh wait, I did that one. Okay, yeah. So then they mentioned they have a short mention of the fireworm, and a little bit later, after the sword scene and a few other scenes, Antonio Banderas goes to meet the archer who's on watch, and to bring him food. And they're just kind of looking around, and all of a sudden they hear some horns in the distance, and you see. I'm gonna enlarge this so you see the fireworm coming down out of the mountain, and I'll tell you right now, I got real anxious because I don't know what the fireworm is, and they do such a good job of keeping it until like just that moment, just the last moment. And Antonio Banderas in the pretty much the exact same field the little boy was running through sees a little girl. These people need to keep an eye on their kids. But
that's your kids, people. Yeah.
She's out there. The fireworms are coming towards her. He runs out there, jumps the fence, rescues the girl, comes back in, but he sees that it's basically
cavalry.
Giant army. Yep. And they come rolling up on the hill and show up at night. And one of the things that the fact that this movie bombed was kind of wild to me, because the battles and later on the traveling through the cave system, equally as good as anything in the Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones.
Yeah, completely. Every action scene in this movie is absolutely incredible. Like, just when they're storming that village, just like you see Banderas finally like realize that they can be killed. And he gets that adrenaline rush and starts chopping them down. And then, his big brother's like, easy now, there's more. I was like, that's such like a great moment. Like, it's just like, and they show like, them standing on the spikes to take out all the horses and all that. Like, that's all shot so well. It's like literally just like,
and it's visceral. Like you feel it. Like this is back when they were still able to flip horses over.
Yeah.
There was a lot of flipping horses in this show, but it dirty, rough. Like a lot of scenes in this movie, if they were filmed nowadays, the stars would be spotless. Because they wouldn't be shooting in an actual mud hole, somewhere. They'd be in front of a giant screen or whatever, but just the raw like feeling of this movie was the colors. There was no. It didn't feel like there was strange color gradients on it. When they were around in a room with torches, it really felt like they were in a room with torches. The sound as well. One of the things I noticed about this was the movie wasn't afraid to be quiet when it needed to. Like nobody talking. You know, just they're walking around, they're kind of looking at things, and they don't need to explain to the audience because we're not stupid.
Yeah,
And
the aftermath when the big brother offers him a drink and he's like, I
Mhm.
can't have any alcohol. He's like, he laughs. He's like, it's honey.
yeah,
And just
can't
like, yeah, just like a
can't
little,
touch the what does he say? Fermented grapes or wheat.
yeah,
It's honey. I laughed at that part out loud. My
yeah,
wife didn't quite get it. I'm like,
yeah.
it's mead. Mead is made out of honey, so he can drink it. So there you go. Another thing I wanted to point out was we didn't touch on the duel earlier, which was part of that kind of subplot where, in order to kind of put the prince in place, they challenged his biggest bodyguard.
Yeah, his biggest man and take him out. So
It was a,
and that's the end of the prince right there. His scheming and scamming. So
yeah,
done. So.
and Big Brother challenges them, and they have the a duel where it's three shields.
Yeah, 3 shields.
And
then Banderas tells him like he could have killed him at any time he wanted to. He's like, that's the point. Yeah. And again, it's like you get to see like like, and then the leader's like, that was like costly. We're gonna miss this guy's sword.
Yeah.
So like there's all these little subplots and little things. The relationship Banderas has with the young woman of the that's another little something you get little touch on. Yeah. So
yeah, that little squeeze of his knee or
as he's walking,
just a small touch, but it's like it means something. That was a nice little shot. So then the battle ends. They take a beating. 3 guys I think die that night.
Yeah, like 3 or 4,
yeah. And they basically come to the conclusion that if this happens again, we're done for. We need to take the fight to them. They go visit an old seer, woman.
Always the old women, huh?
Yeah, who just lounges the entire time. I was kind of watching it, going through it again today, and she doesn't even try to get up. She's just laying there.
You know what I love about this too is it completely plays with your expectations. The whole time you think maybe like she's gonna say something about Banderas, but Banderas isn't the star; it's their leader.
Yeah.
So Banderas is just there to basically, in the end, he's there to tell the story of this king.
Yeah.
And so it's a whole like he's not the chosen one or anything. He's not the one who decides the fate or who wins and loses. Yeah. He's basically just a storyteller caught up in this story.
Yeah, and they touch on that earlier where the king asks him, "Can you draw sounds? Can you basically can you write?" And he shows him a little bit of writing, and a little later on he writes back to him, and it just kind of touches on it just a couple times, but it comes back around at the end with Antonio Banderas' character being kind of a chronicler of the situation, and that's also a really touching scene, really nice scene. But so they talk to the old lady. She basically tells them,
he has to kill the queen, and he has to kill the guy with the horns.
Yeah,
that's the only way to
warrior leader. And they saddle up, head out. Antonio Banderas says, "Do we have anything resembling a plan?" And do you remember what the plan is? Do you remember what the plan is?
I don't remember the response though.
Ride till we find them and kill them all.
There you go. Yeah, that's when they run into the thunder cliffs and all that. That's a nice thing too.
So that's where the leg touch happens. It's just the briefest thing, but yeah, it's and they don't even return to it at the end. It's not that kind of movie. This isn't a romance. This is an action movie.
Yeah.
And then they head out, and at some point Antonio Banderas comes to the conclusion that a realization that they live like bears. They want to be bears.
Yeah.
And Where the bears live.
Yeah, how do you hunt a bear in the winter? He's like in a cave. Yeah, it's another really good scene. Like, you know, because like they start like they have like a flow to them by at this point. You know, they've been through war, so now they trust kind of each other's opinions and things. They don't dismiss them or anything. You know,
Yeah,
like they're all kind of working together for one goal. So. Yeah.
So they head out, find a cave, and it's some intense scenes. It feels very much like the orc scenes in Lord of the Rings, where they're in the mines of Moria.
Yeah,
you know.
It's funny. Like I remember the first time I watched it, I thought, all right, this is the closing of the movie.
Yeah.
I didn't think they would have like stuff afterwards because it just feels like, you know, this is it. Like they're trying to go out kamikaze style, you know?
Yeah. I was wrong, he says. These aren't men. They find their hideout, their lair, just tons of bones, tons of skulls they've collected over the years, and they find the queen, who is a scary woman. Like the calmness with which she just sits there as a Viking bursts into her, like, it's like she expected it, but like, why would you?
Yeah. No fear, just complete.
But that whole underground scene was just so well done. Again, this whole movie is just so well done. The water, the waterfall scene, like the real looking stunts that they did, just splashing through that waterfall. And then I wish I remembered the leader's name, but he fights the queen, does win, he does chop her head off, but that little claw thing she's got in her hand, she has dipped in poison, and she gets him, she scratches him, and he starts getting sick. But they make their escape. They head farther down and end up finding a escape tunnel into the sea, to the what were the cliffs?
Yeah, the Thunder Cliffs.
Thunder Cliffs, that's right.
Yeah, and then one of them ends up like holding off the remaining attacker, staying behind. So
that was this guy.
Yeah, they're down to 5. Yeah.
He had a great line where he stumbles in the cave as they're running away, and he says, I can't run anymore. And then there's a breather, and he says, just the earnestness with which he says it, it was a good day. And it's like that, it's the manliness of these people, these guys who live to die in war, to die in battle, because that's their goal, really great scene.
Basically, he's like, hey, I can't go any longer, but I'll make sure these guys get a chance to get out of here. So, he's like, so.
And then you think, like you said, they come out in the water, and you breathe a sigh of relief, and you're like, oh, good, that's over. And it's not. The army returns, don't even wait till nightfall. They just come roaring in, and as they're riding to town, the king comes out, and he's dragging a sword, and he doesn't look good. He's haggard and worn out. But the earlier in the movie, during the king's dead king's burial, there's a phrase that they say, the young woman says, about seeing their fathers and their ancestors, and they start to repeat that, and it builds them all their courage is built up, and they get, and even Antonio Banderas joins in, and it's had such a great fight scene at the end. Even the dog gets in on it, that was I'm watching. The dog wasn't a. He wasn't. It wasn't like a sidekick. He was just there a lot,
Yeah.
but he was there, you know.
Yeah, he was there. Yeah.
And at the end, he has a small part, and I like that. I got a little afraid they were going to kill off the dog at some point, but they didn't. He was good. And the king pulls it together and kills the leader, the guy with the horns.
Yeah, and then once he lets out a scream in pain, the other ones run off.
Yeah, and let's see, do I have? Oh, I got this picture here. A great ending picture. They watch them run off. They watch the enemy's retreat, and then they hear the dog bark, a sad bark, and turn around, and sure enough, the king has died, but in such a kingly manner, and it's just a great, moving, powerful scene of this is why this is why this guy's the king.
Yeah, it's like that whole like closing scene from once they make it out of the water and then they're back and they're back, in their little town there. That whole stuff of like Banderas, being kind of sad, and then the king tells their leader here, like, he's gonna be reared as a king.
Yeah.
And then Banderas, he asks Banderas, man is worthy to have his stories told, and Banderas is like, such a man be thought worthy indeed.
Yeah,
that's like another great. And then like once he's talking to Big Brother there, and he's like, they're back, and then he sees the cavalry and all that, and then the rain starts to come down, and then it's just like there's like 4 of them, and like everybody's scared, and like you're thinking like, oh, there's no way like this is end. And then Banderas has like such a calm at the end when he sits down and he does his prayer.
Yeah.
And it's like it is absolutely just one of the most fantastic scenes.
And it's the first time you see Antonio Banderas like pray or really do anything really with his his faith. He writes a little bit about there's one God and his holy prophet, but it's not until this point where he reconnects, basically.
Yeah, he basically kind of lets go. There's no fear in him. Like there's literally, he just, and the prayer he says, I just wish to live these last moments well. Always has resonated with me. I just thinking like, and that's when the leader comes out and they make their last stand, and they take down, and then they have the funeral. They show a glimpse of like the funeral, and then like he gets back on the boat and says his goodbye, man. And you're just like, and the movie ends, and you're just like, you can't help but smile, man. I remember just watching, just smiling ear to ear, just like, it's so good. I can't wait to tell people about it, man.
And we got Tim Olson in the chat said that was an awesome movie. So earlier I had mentioned it was Ebert, Siskel and Ebert. It was Ebert, Roger Ebert, who I read, who said it's just action. There's no plot. There's no like, and I at the end of the movie, it's like you apparently didn't get the point of the movie, which was the end of the movie. I'm going to play that last clip.
Goodbye, Arab. Goodbye, Arab.
Goodbye, Northman. Goodbye, Northman.
Hold on real quick. Is it double playing for you?
No.
Okay, and the sound's not double playing. For me, I don't know what's up with my sound on my end today. All right, I keep going.
Across seas of monsters and forests of demons we traveled. Praise be to Allah, the merciful and compassionate. May His blessing be upon pagan men who loved all the gods, who shared their food, shed their blood, that His servant Ahmed ibn Fahla might become a man, and a useful servant of God.
That was the plot. That was the point of the movie. Antonio Banderas and the king's journey as well.
Yeah.
Becoming the true king, but like learning, as he said, to what is going on? Huh. That is interesting. I have half of my scenes. All right, let's
Just as we got to the end.
Let's do this. Is that doing anything? No. That? No. Well, I don't know. I don't know why it's down at the bottom like that. I'm going to... Well, this is stupid. It erased all my beginning stuff, all my... Huh. Well, let's do this. We'll get rid of this. Sorry about that. Remove. There we go. Normal screen. Jeez, that was... But yeah, that was the point of the movie, is becoming a man. And, like, you remember the movie, was it The Edge? With... I think it was The Edge. Anthony Hopkins and Alec Baldwin. And
I've heard of that. I've never watched it though.
Watch that as well. If you the basic idea of that is kind of similar to this, which is a man being a man. The difference is it starts with Anthony Hopkins' character. He's already a man, but the way the movie plays out, showing how he is a man, it's an excellent movie. So if you get a chance, watch that one. Let's see. The only thing that is true about this movie, there really was a Muslim that was exiled and forced to live with Northmen, but that's about it. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's loosely based on Beowulf and the real diary of a Muslim who was hanging out up there. So, and then we got Hey Crunch on November 1st, Authorpalooza from 11 to 3. I will try to get there if I can't. Tim lives about 30 minutes from me, and I want to get his. I want to get a book or two of his, but I want to do it like in person if I can.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool. So, and I don't know what "yes it is" in reference to.
I think he was replying to your point about what the movie was about.
Okay, yeah. But I'm going to give this movie like a definite thumbs up. Like I smiled through the entire movie. Like, but at the end of the movie, I was like hyped up. Like the movie ends, and I'm like, it's time for bed.
It's like, well, is there a sequel? Let's get into another adventure of Vikings. Yeah. Travel, face some monsters. Yeah, for sure.
And it's one of those. It's another last week's movie, which was oh gosh, what did Fabrizio have me watch? The Replacements with Keanu Reeves. The football.
I've seen that.
Never seen it. Watched it. Loved it. Excellent movie. It's another movie that proves that our movies nowadays, even if they're what we call good, they're not good.
Can you give me 1 quick second? I'll be right back.
All right, no worries. So yeah, Tim, if I can make it out there, and if I remember, because I have the world's worst memory, I wanna get out there and meet up with you and buy Melvin off of you. But again, that's dependent on my memory. But so yeah, if you're out there, you haven't seen it yet, go see it. Go rent it.
Go get it.
I rented it for $3.65 on Amazon, so easy.
Yeah.
Or heck, go out and I'm sure you could find it at a used DVD store somewhere, and then you could
keep
it. So.
If you're down with the physical media, track it down. You'll be able to find it for a cheap price.
Yeah. So while we're here and while we're at it, we are getting pretty close to the. I try to keep these about an hour. Don't want people getting too bored with a 3-hour show. But let's talk about your newest campaign, the Aces. I got it. Boy, I had that somewhere too.
Yes, the Drawing Aces Comics Group Anthology #1, the longest name in the history of a Kickstarter. I call it the Drawing Aces Anthology for short.
So this is it's an anthology of all your creations, all your comics that you've had, you've put out already, just short stories to introduce people.
Yeah, 3 of them are characters of books I've already started. I have 3 versions of 3 volumes of the Ace. My first ever character right there, as you can see in the middle, the armored guy.
Mm-hmm.
I have the Raid of the White Leopard, which is the Viking guy, and then I have another one, Bloodbone.
Yep, Bloodbone.
See that image?
Bloodbone.
That's like
I've
hulking
seen
vigilante.
Yeah. Very, very imagey 90s look.
Oh yeah, he's awesome. Yeah, so those 3 I've already put out campaigns for. So this time we're just doing short stories, kind of showcasing them. Then we're introducing 2 new characters. One called Xavier, which is the guy in the goggles and the cape, and another a female called Blue Blaze. Those are projects I'll be kind of showing off in the next year or 2. So just kind of wanted to take everything I've been working on probably the past 5 years and kind of give everybody, a little sampler. I always call it a little something for everybody. If you like superheroes, there's stuff for you here. If you stuff that isn't superhero, like I said, Raid of the White Leopard is more, if you like 13th Floor, you'll love Raid of the White Leopard. It's about these Vikings who get caught up in a storm and they wash up on a mysterious island.
Nice.
Super dope art by Avery Butterworth. Then Blue Blaze, like I said, it's more kind of like me and Joe call it a love letter to Michael Turner. It's really about beauty, romance. It's about, mystery. So it's not really superhero related at all, like Bloodbone and Ace are.
Yeah.
So like I said, it's a little something for everybody. And putting together this little short story anthology, black and white, 32 pages. Most of the art's done. I think I got like 2-3 pages to finish up and then get those lettered and get the proof sent out. So we're deep into production here, and right now we are over 1,700. So we just got funded. Thanks to everybody who's back. We still got another like 15 days or so. Let me just double check real quick here. I'm not trying not to obsess over the campaign. So
Yeah.
15 days. So like we're right at the end point here. So we could use all the extra backers because Kickstarter doesn't charge until the end, and there's always refunds and different stuff. So we want to make sure that we're at least, I think, if we can get to 2K, we should be good. So we got another like less than 300 to go. So if anybody wants to back, super affordable campaign. The anthology is just $13, 5 shipped in the US. We have 2 versions of it. We're also offering a Bloodbone Ash Can, which is kind of a reprint of a campaign I put out a couple. I think it's been like a year and a half now, man. Time flies, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So we're offering that, get everybody caught up because Bloodbone's gonna be my next new project. We're launching Bloodbone #1 next summer, so everybody gets caught up here.
Are the stories in this anthology? They're not necessary for any. Are they standalone basically?
Yeah, basically just give you small glimpses to each character and stuff. And then, like the Ace has an origin story. Basically, it shows David growing up with his dad and kind of their relationship. Bloodbone's got a story, him tracking down a serial killer. Savior is the basically an introduction to the character. Like I said, basically the first 5 pages, it would be like a #1 issue. So it kind of gives you a starting point for that. So each one is kind of its own thing. You can kind of just pick it up and read and kind of, see what you like.
Nice.
I'm really curious to get feedback on some of the stories and stuff, get people's thoughts on them. So, but yeah, it's a really, really fun project, man. Like I said, we're expecting shipping at the start of next year. So probably like February, late January, February. To get it shipped out to people. Anybody doesn't know my history, I have 6 fully funded, fully fulfilled campaigns.
Nice.
I've done campaigns on Indiegogo and Fund My Comic. This is my first Kickstarter. I have a history over the last 5 years of fulfilling books. making sure everybody gets what they pay for. And this will be no different. Get this in people's hands in a couple of months.
Have you noticed a difference with Kickstarter? I know that people talk about it's got its built-in like comic scene, but have you noticed anything?
Not really. I think it works about as well as Indiegogo does. But my stuff isn't really Kickstarter like.
Yeah.
There's a certain aesthetic to the Kickstarter books that mine are lacking this time around. Next time I'm going all in, so get ready. But yeah, this time this is more kind of like traditional campaign. So yeah, it's been good. Like it's like we're able to get over the 1,500 goal. We got 15 days. I think we can probably get it to the 2K. We have some original art available from Joe Ball. We have the blue blaze pages he does are absolutely beautiful. Joe's super talented artist. He puts tons of details. I got a sketch cover he did on the campaign. We have a couple of bundles. Do have like international bundles, so anybody wants to pay that steep price, you can get it too. So we're trying to give everybody options and stuff. Or if you just want the PDF, it's only $10, so you can back that. So we're trying to make it reasonable. Not trying to ask us for too much and get in people's hands.
Yeah, I got the link pinned in the top of the chat, but also in the description for the Kickstarter. So if you watch this later and want to check it out, hit that link and go check out the campaign and back it and get him to that 2,000. If I can scrape together some change in the next few, what did you say, 15 days or so?
Yeah, 15 days. There's no there won't be any extensions, no late backers. It ends on September 29th at 9:30 Eastern. So that's it.
All right. Sounds good. So yeah, I'm gonna try to back it. Bloodbone looks rad. I like his.
It's gonna be fun, man. We got so much cool stuff planned with him. It's gonna be insane when I start finally sharing some of that art I've been sitting on.
But yeah, I want to go ahead and wrap up and let people know. Is there anywhere else they can find your stuff?
Number one place to find me is on Twitter. I'm at Buzz Acevedo. I do have a YouTube channel, but it's been slacking. So maybe after the campaign's done, I'll finally start streaming again. But I'm also on Facebook and Instagram. But usually the first place I'll post anything is Twitter. So at Buzz Acevedo, give me a follow. I'll follow you back.
All right, awesome. And if anyone wants to back his book, it's on Kickstarter. Head there. We want people to back these indie comics, get into this indie comic scene, get these books out in people's faces, in their hands.
You want the books, people. They're real. They are real.
It's not just the books themselves, but it's supporting these creators who are doing something original, doing something real in this age of AI and fake stuff. This is punk rock.
All real, baby. This is all real right here. This is all touch it. You can smell it. It's all great.
Buy a few so you can give them to your friends as well. So, but Edwin, I want to thank you for coming on and talking 13th Warrior and telling me to watch the 13th Warrior.
Yeah.
And
my job, there's like 3 movies I always tell people to watch. I want to watch 13th Warrior, Highlander, and I always forget what the third one is. It probably changes, so I can't remember it. But definitely go check those out.
Interestingly enough, I just watched Highlander 2 weeks ago.
There you go.
Which I had seen, but it was I was like 13 at the time, and I completely forgot everything about that one too. So
still that Queen soundtrack is still the best, man.
And the best line in the movie, it's better to burn out than fade away.
Yeah, the Kurgan. Yeah, this guy's good.
But all right. Well, like I said, thanks for coming on, and we'll maybe have you on again sometime if we get into those music and comic segments at some point. But everyone else, we'll catch you next week. Who is Shadowhawk? I think. is my guest next week, I think. I'll have to look that up.
The Shadow Punk.
Shadow Punk, that's what it is. Yeah. But if you got time next week, hope you see you there.